Nico, let me ask you a quick question, because we've got traditionally sized and oversized watches tonight. This is a traditionally sized watch. It's the Blancpain LeMan Flyback, but it's the Toute Vitesse limited edition. This is a watch rarely seen because, well, they only made 20 of them back in 2005. Nico has a taste for traditionally sized watches, and at 38 millimeters, this definitely qualifies. The interesting thing is this watch was a special commission for a Chicago area dealer, and it has a great little individually numbered caseback winding mass on it with the Côte de Genève, 20 pieces, a Toute Vitesse. It has a unique salmon dial, and I don't know if they were specifically going for the vintage loom look back then, because this was made in 2005, but if they were a good solid 8 years ahead of that industry infatuation, and it's a real good looking watch, and I wish Blancpain would make more of this today, speaking of brands that have kind of lost their way. I also want to address two questions asked by our user Simon. The first was the screw down crown on the Zenith Rainbow and the Daytona. Yes, it's there for water resistance, not to protect you from yourself. The other is high beat watches. Now he's asking about watches like the Zenith El Primero, so 5 hertz or 10 beats per second, the same frequency is seen on the Blancpain caliber F385, as well as a number of Parmigiani and Gran Seiko movements. And what Simon is asking is, does the high beat watch act as a remedy to gravity or position induced timing deviation like a tourbillon can? And for that, I actually want to bring my own little tourbillon up onto the macro camera and explain why the high beat has a different impact on accuracy than the tourbillon does. They basically address different problems. The tourbillon is an old pocket watch mechanism that was devised by Abraham Louis Breguet in about 1795, and the idea was that the tourbillon rotating along one axis in a pocket, never changing its orientation, would rotate through 360 degrees with respect to gravity, speeding up and slowing down in equal measure in different positions, the idea being to neutralize all of them. Well, it doesn't quite work that way on the wrist because a wristwatch moves in many directions, and actually watchmakers have established that the average angle of a wristwatch on the wrist is actually 30 degrees. So now you know why Greubel Forsey cants its tourbillon at 30 degrees. What the high beat movement does is essentially try to create a large disparity between the frequency of the oscillations experienced on the wrist and the rate of the balance. A slow chugging old pocket watch, 14,000 beat per hour or even 18,000 vibration per hour wristwatch is not going to have a high enough rate that occasional disruption of the wrist won't affect its oscillation. In other words, it's easier to disrupt the timing of a low beat watch by moving it around. The higher the beat, the harder that is to do. That's what the high beats in the Seiko, the Blancpain, the Zenith all accomplish. And Breguet and its insane magnetically sprung, I want to say it's like 10 hertz. Their 10 hertz Chronometrie Classique and the Type 22 do the same thing. So that's how those work.